Everyone, it's Wednesday, October 28th, 2020, and our lesson for today is Where Could I Look Next? All right, let's get started. So, before we go any deeper, let's go ahead and look at the reading standards that we are focusing on. Determine the central idea of a text and how it is conveyed through particular details. Provide a summary of the text distinct from personal opinions or judgments. Second, analyze in detail how a key individual, event, or idea is introduced, illustrated, and elaborated in a text. And this could be through examples or anecdotes. All right. So in our Ignite, let's stop and share what new Just Right book have you started looking at? Take some time and tell us the Just Right book you are going to read next. If you are watching this video, go ahead and pause that now and answer the question on the discussion. All right, let's move on. So, yesterday we started looking at habits that we could do that are great for reading. What are some of those things? How long did it take for you to develop that skill? What things do you think you need to work on next? So, yesterday, notice what you do as a reader, then do that even better. So, in our lesson today, notice what you don't tend to do and assign yourself something new, a new goal. So, before we go on, okay, I want us to recap and scaffold, okay, because we're thinking about our characters. We're going through their feelings, traits, relationship to the setting, wants and motivations, changes, and so on. All right. So we're looking at all those key concepts as we continue our reading. So once again, we looked at our own reading habits and what things are working for you as you are reading. Today, you're going to focus on a different aspect. I want you to remind I want to remind you that when you want to get better at something, it usually pays off to pay attention not only to things you do and notice, but also to what you don't do and notice. Try new ways of learning to strengthen your reading life. All right, let's go ahead and move on. So before we go on into the reading, um, a part of page 101, we're also going to look at my notes that I am developing as I am reading the text. So yesterday I shared this top part, okay? What am I doing that's working? And how could I get even better? I talked about foreshadowing and how mom is telling stories for a reason. I talked about how maybe this is a personal narrative of Grace herself because the author and the main character are both named Grace. Okay, so that my goal for that was to predict more often, not just what, but how. Okay. And what I am going to do next. Okay. What do I do? What do I do not do or notice about my reading? Sorry about that. So, this is just a brief little overview. We will go over this later on in the slide, but let's take a look at this. Girls are making fun of Grace for not knowing Chinese. And my goal for that, don't just jot when important things happen. Think about how the character feels and why. So let's go ahead and dive into this reading. So once again, so now that I noticed what I didn't do, let's go back and reread page 101. Keep in mind, I am jotting down information and how keep in mind how I am jotting down information and how you too can copy that. Once again, I'm trying to notice things I haven't before. So in my recap, right, some Chinese girls are talking about Grace. Here's what they said. You're a Twinkie, another girl said. My brother said Chinese people who are Americanized are Twinkies, yellow on the outside, but white on the inside. The girls cackled and jabbered at each other in Chinese like mockingbirds. I feel like a helpless fish frying in oil with red hot heat burning my face and stinging my eyes. I turned around so they wouldn't see me cry. So, once again, my goal, right? I'm not just jotting down important things, but I'm also asking how, why, right? So let's think about how Grace is feeling here. It says that her face is burning and tears are stinging her eyes. So she must be really upset and hurt. Why is she so upset by this, though? I, as well as you, know the girls are being mean, but is there some other reason why she's so upset? Why doesn't she stand up for herself? In the discussion on Schoology for your chunk, take some time to reflect on this section and the questions I am asking you. Okay, so she must be hurt, but why is she so hurt? Why is she so upset? Okay, why doesn't she stand up for herself? Answer these questions on Schoology. Go ahead and pause that video now if you are watching this asynchronously. All right. So once again, I said I was going to focus on my goal. Okay. So I didn't want to just jot important information, but I want to think about how the character feels and why. So this is my why. All right. So girls are making fun of Grace for not knowing Chinese. This isn't the first time she's been uncomfortable with how others viewed her. Like when Becky told her she couldn't be Dorothy, she felt like she couldn't do what she loved because she's Chinese. And ones with people who are like her, or ones with people who are like her. She must feel deep down, not just sad, but like she doesn't know who she is. So once again, she didn't fit in with Becky, and she doesn't fit in the ones who are like her. This is something that we will see as Grace understands her own identity in the book. All right, let's move on. So for your chew, today this will be a little more difficult because we are starting a new Just Right book. But look at one of the jots that you have made so far in your book. I want you to think about things you noticed and things you haven't noticed. Look through look through new lens as you are reading. Will you look over all the things you could have thought about related to character? And will you think, what sort of thinking didn't I do? What might I assign myself to do this time to become a better reader? So I want you to go to reading your Just Right book with a new lens on, right? A new goal, something that you don't usually do. All right. We are also reading chapters 21, 22, and 23 from the Year of the Dog. So make sure you go and listen to those readings as well. Lastly, for your review, make sure to read the chapters that are provided with links. Before you are done with After you are done with that, make sure you read your Just Right book for 15 minutes. And once again, this was posted earlier in the lesson, but let's do this as a recap. Notice what you do as a reader, then do that even better. That was yesterday's lesson. Today, notice what you don't tend to do and assign yourself a new goal, right? Assign yourself something new. So as we start this new bend, remember these items as we continue to dig deeper. Make yourself a more thoughtful reader. So in your discussion on Schoology, I want you to look over your notes and jots and define how you will continue to develop your reading skills. As you saw my my goal was not to just write important things down as I read, but I want to think how the character feels and why they feel the way they feel. All right. I hope you can become better readers. And that is the lesson for today. All right. I'll see everybody soon. Bye.